All right. Well, I'm not going to hold everything up. This is, of course, Tech Breakfast, and we have a few people here to talk about stuff. Um, I'm going to start. How you guys doing for time over there, Jacob and Boris? You okay for a minute? You okay? Okay. I was gonna start with James here, if you don't mind, James. Go ahead and take it away. And if you need to share a screen, you can do that. If you need to share a screen, he James has a new product called HitSend, and it is a mix verification and software and payment and everything else kind of all rolled into one thing. I think I have that pretty much correct. James, why don't you go ahead and take it? Not hearing you yet. There you go. Okay, he's going to share a screen.
Yep. Let me get to the right place here.
And then we'll open it up for questions. This is a product called HitSend. There's Jacob and Boris. Boris Karloff. I told you that was a famous 30s, 40s, 50s actor. You know that already. Scary movie, except he spelled it with a K. You spell it with a C.
Oh wow, both names, huh? Cool.
Well, he's
Hey guys,
who's that?
Caspar, Baby Audio.
Okay, you need to get a lot
Casper, the
closer to
friendly
your
engineer.
mic. Yeah, get closer to the mic.
Can you hear me and see me?
I do.
Yeah, it sounds like your mic is on the floor somewhere.
Yeah, you need to get closer to the mic.
Yeah, okay, let me try. It's because Barry, as I wrote to you on my email, I'm in a little bit of a transitional setup here with my laptop, but is this better?
Hold the laptop really close to you.
Perfect
Yeah,
time.
I'll speak into it like this. Yeah.
We'll watch your chin and it'll be perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
You're good. You're good.
Perfect.
Right, awesome.
Perfect tiled room for a snare drum, I think.
Yeah. Pretty
Well, I
live
think-
room. Yeah. Hi, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Looking good in the beard there, bro.
Yeah, trying. Hey, James, go ahead. Don't ignore all these knuckleheads.
Well, thank you everyone for being here and for giving me the opportunity to show you HitSend. This is basically how.
James, can you turn up a little bit more?
Yes, I can give you more of that.
We're all a bunch of old recording engineers. Deaf.
All right. Well, I'll give you a good amount.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Music producer. Okay, go ahead.
So HitSend, it's how music producers get client approval and payment. It started because I was tired as a music producer of wasting countless hours looking for a pop that the client heard that was actually just the Dropbox player glitching or into hundreds of old emails.
Mark, mute your mic, Mark.
Mute everybody else's mic, please.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good. Yeah. So just, digging through all those emails and then also, having to follow up with that client for the sixth time to pay their damn invoice, hoping that they hadn't just stolen the files. So as a result, it became undeniable to me that the lack of an industry standard was costing everyone time and money. And so began the quest to defeat bad web audio players, supply project management tools, enhance communication channels, and to ensure producers get paid on time. So the first item on the list was building a web player that streams up to 48.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, James. Go ahead and just give us the 5-minute cocktail napkin.
This is 5 minutes. It's 3 minutes total.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So streams up to 48 times better quality audio that has no downgrading like what you get with Google Drive or with Dropbox. It can stream full FLAC, WAV, and AIFF files with version management to effortlessly A/B demos or mixes and replaces the need for a DDP player with gapless playback to monitor the spacing between tracks, along with displaying metadata to double check credits for streamlined record approvals. You can also collect time-coded feedback that can then be dropped directly into a DAW so that you can work along your timeline with clients' notes. Now, while you're working on revisions, clients can also preview what their album will sound and look like with optional LUF volume normalization, along with also displaying the album art. And so as they're reviewing this, you can then work with them through the process until they're happy with the project, and it can be approved via an integrated, oh, I skipped one. So you can add custom branding, use your business email color palette on links, emails, and invoices as well throughout the process until they're happy with it, which then can be approved by an integrated paywall. We support 136 different currencies through a number of different payment platforms. So that way, you can automate payments and not have to chase down clients for invoices. Offer a number of different integrations with importing files directly from Dropbox and Google Drive. You can also link it with Zapier and create your own automations with over 3,000 different platforms. Additionally, we have Google OAuth authentication for two-factor verification, as well as using 256-bit encryption on all databases, and we're built on top of AWS for 99.9999999% uptimes.
No, stay waiting over here.
What's that?
Jimmy, mute your mic.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you also have complete control over who is allowed in the project. So you can bring in clients to, leave feedback, approve projects, make payments, as well as collaborators to help manage files, provide feedback and assist on the project. You can also use external links, but still maintain complete control over, feedback, download, and approval permissions, as long as being able to password protect, disable links, or hide files from any external link users. So people like Mike Exeter, I've been using our platform quite a bit. He's Grammy-winning engineer, or Nacho Molina, and they've been using it now for, Nacho's been on for about 2 years, just using it for all of his invoices and payments. And so that is HitSend in a nutshell. Send mixes and masters and collect client revisions.
Okay. Tell me, how does
Hey,
this?
guy.
Hey, who's that?
That's Tony.
Oh, how you doing, man? I was going to ask you, James, how does this compare with SoundFlow, which is now offered with the new version of Pro Tools?
So this is pretty different than SoundFlow. So I can't say to what extent, but we are actively talking with the Pro Tools team on a number of different things. So SoundFlow is for working directly within Pro Tools. So it's for automating like bouncing files or different things like that.
Okay.
Whereas this is completely client side. So it's once the files are out of your DAW, how are you getting that feedback from clients?
I gotcha. And so that would follow like Frame.io, which is very popular with post houses and film editors and such. But these are all for example, Frame.io is I think it's free for two or less users, and $15 a month for I don't know how many users. I think that the maximum you pay is $25 a month for Frame.io. SoundFlow is $10 a month, I think, right now. So all subject to change, though. So
well, and Frame is focused primarily on video.
That's right. Frame.io is mostly for video.
Yeah.
So, well, great. Thanks so much for coming. Make sure you unshare their screen, and it's pretty cool. So
What's the business model? How much?
How much?
Yeah. So right now we're offering both monthly and yearly subscription. Big reason for that is every month we get a bill, for all storage and everything. So we're pretty much forced into subscription, but we're $39.99 a month if you're doing monthly, or billed at $32.99 a month if you do an annual plan.
Okay, cool.
Can we try it?
Absolutely.
Is there a download for a demo, whatever?
It
Yeah,
was a free 14-day trial. Yeah.
great. Like to try it.
And your name of your company is called, I can't remember this, Fuse. Oh, something Fuse, right?
Session Views, yeah. But it ended up being too close to Session Wire, so
Oh,
we ended
Session.
up not using that to brand the actual product. So
Got
that
it.
product is HitSend. So if you want to go to the website, hitsend.io.
Fantastic.
Pretty easy to remember.
Put it on the chat, please.
Yeah, let's light up the chat. Well, thanks so much, James. I think we're going to move on. Are the guys from Baby Audio here? I don't think they showed up yet. Do I see them?
I'm here. That's me, Caspar.
Caspar.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going?
Caspar, this is Caspar Bock from Baby Audio, and he has a new
Yeah,
plug.
that's correct. Yeah. And I'm in a little bit of a transitional setup here. Barry wrote about that on the email. So I'll be able to share my screen and show Crystalline, but I'm not set up to play back any audio examples. But you said you might be able to share.
Yeah, I actually can do that if you want. I have it already.
Yeah, we can do that too, and I'll just talk. That works as well.
Can you see that all right?
I see it, yeah, for sure.
Okay, so this is the plugin. Go ahead and talk about it, Caspar. I have a quick setting I did here, and I have some sounds. I have a guitar you could hear through it if you want. And
yeah,
sending in stereo on Zoom. So if you're hooked up or have headphones on, you can hear it. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I can introduce it before you play the example.
Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we've been looking into reverb algorithms since we started our company 3 years ago. We made a plugin called Spaced Out. Barry, you reviewed that, which was like a hybrid delay reverb plugin. And then as we had released Spaced Out, we kind of started to dig deeper into the reverb side of things. And to anyone who's written DSP code or made digital audio effects, reverb is really like the holy grail. It's very hard to get right. And it's something for us that just took a long time to figure out in a way where we felt it could actually come out as a product and compete with all the great reverbs that are there already, like the Valhalla stuff or even the Lexicon emulations. But what it is it's an algorithmic reverb. And our whole conceptual premise for this was, you know how in the days back in the 20th century when Lexicon made their famous algorithmic reverbs, they had one obstacle always, which was the CPU power. They had very poor performing chips. Back then, that was where, you know, technology was at the time. And that meant that when they designed the reverb algorithms, they weren't able to create as many delay lines and as much like algorithmic complexity as they wanted to. Because what we did, of course, was we researched everything we could find in terms of, you know, research papers from back then. And we kind of found that that always seemed to be the obstacle with the 20th century studio reverbs, that they were underpowered or they weren't able to do what they wanted. So the whole conceptual premise for Crystalline was to say, now we have all this computer power in 2022. Let's make a Lexicon style reverb, but just give it all the algorithmic firepower that we're able to today. So the main part of it is that under the hood, it has this all pass loop processing is what it's called, where it's basically just like a myriad of delay lines that basically insinuate or create this feeling of a reverb, which is how most of these algorithmic reverbs work. But it has a lot more delay lines and a lot more complexity than traditional algorithmic reverbs. That's kind of the one side of it, the sound side. And what it allows for is a very clean sound and a very, like tweakable sound. The other side of it is how you control it. And maybe Barry, you want to show that off, but we have some new features in there, such as the ability to tempo sync the reverb. So you can set the pre-delay time to sync with your song's tempo, even the decay time, and a bunch of other controls. But, you know, I'll be happy to answer any questions. We're very excited also to hear what you guys think, but I think I'll just pass it over to Barry now.
Yeah, so he was just talking about this start control, if everybody can see that, that's your pre-delay, but you can have it in milliseconds like we're used to, or you can go into sync the tempo, which is an interesting effect. In other words, the pre-delay is tempo synced. Same with the decay time. You can also sync that to tempo like that. So right now it's at 1 and let me make it like,
11/16.
yeah, now we're down
But
to,
it's 16th.
there's a quarter note, I assume. Yeah. So you can sync it so that the reverb decays out for 1/4 quarter note length. So anyway, you can play around with that. Some other interesting things are it has a reverse, and this takes the reverb tail and flips it around. Okay, you'll have to hear that, obviously. Then it has freeze. So freeze is like this. So I have this guitar playing. I think you'll hear this. See if I can get into this. So here, can everybody hear that all right? So so that's how freeze works if you need that. So you could get imaginative with this and build a whole chord set if you recorded all these freezes, right? Reverse sounds like that, same guitar playing here. It's a pretty broad sound. I don't know that you would hear it on, maybe something percussive might be better than this guitar to do that on. What else? Oh, so you have control over the stereo width. Controls are kind of cool looking. Sparkle. Caspar, tell me what sparkle is again.
Yeah, well, the effect of sparkle is it makes the reverb brighter, but it doesn't do that by just applying an EQ. Instead, it takes this virtual room and changes the reflections of it to encourage high frequencies to pass through more and basically dampen the lower frequencies a little bit in relation to the high frequencies. So it's like an EQ, but it's using the room as an EQ basically to make it brighter.
Cool. You got a gate. You can put the gate on the end of it, chop it off. You got some tone controls over here. Transients. Talk about transient.
Yeah, so transients basically lets you nudge the reverb response either in favor of the attack part or the sustain part of the signal, which can be handy for instance, percussive stuff where you maybe want to take out a little bit of the reverb response on the very attack and have the body of the sound be more reverb relative to the attack part. So it just lets you nudge it a little bit in either direction.
Right. Depth is modulation. This is like the oldest trick, and they're modulating like a pitch changing the reverb tail, and I have it set to none, but you could, I think you can hear it kind of a chorusy effect. Anyway, this guitar part is a little distorted. They recorded it that way, whatever. But so I'll play around some more. If you're listening in stereo, you should be able to hear this change. Mono.
Hey Barry, can you make the playback a little louder?
Sure. You want it louder?
And maybe turn off your mic for a second.
Let me put on headphones. Can you hang on a second? I'll go put on some headphones.
I've been using this plugin for a couple of weeks now, and it's really powerful. It's got amazing sound. Hey, Caspar.
Hey.
It sounds really good. I used it on vocals a bunch, and it's just wonderful, especially the shimmer part. It's just amazing. It's
really happy to hear you think that. That means a lot. Thank you.
You got to hear the shimmer part on a solo vocal, because it just does something you just can't explain. And I don't know if you can hear it over Zoom, but you've got to really just listen to it. It's really wonderful.
Hey, quick question for Caspar here. Are there different modulation shapes available?
No,
Okay.
it's basically that one, and the reason for that is the modulation is not a separate effect. It's built into the actual reverb. So what it does is it detunes all the little delay stages relative to each other, which means that is the effect, so to speak. So there is that one effect. We could have gone in and added even more complexity to it, but we felt that was the perfect trade-off between a fast workflow and a deeper experience.
Well, maybe V2 will have an advanced feature set.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly possible. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Look for my invite on LinkedIn, by the way.
Thank you.
Question
Right.
for Caspar as well. Caspar,
Yeah.
what's
Anyway,
the cost? What's the cost of the plugin?
I have.
The cost is
I,
it's 99, but it's on intro sale for 49 at the moment.
yeah.
Can you please put a link to the chat with where it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. And I'm guessing it has AU and VST plugins.
Yes, correct. And AX. Oh, Tony just put the link here.
Yeah, the link is in there, guys.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
What's
put
the
that link
DSP usage? What's the DSP usage compared to some other plugin we might be familiar with?
It's a little bit up to you in the sense that when you go to the resolution knob in the bottom left, you have pristine mode, which is pretty high, and then you can take it all the way to basic, which is closer to, let's say, Valhalla, that kind of experience. Then you also have in the top right, you have this leaf icon. And if you click that, you go into eco mode, and that bypasses a few things under the hood. It's still the same experience, but it kind of takes it to a lower level. So I would say at its highest performing, it's a little heavy, to be honest with you guys. But you have the opportunity or the possibility to dial it down a little to make it work in a busy session.
Hey, last question for me. Is this built on top of the Juice library?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That should be better.
Hey,
What do we have
Casper,
to- what do we have to-
real quick, can you manipulate the frozen feature once it's frozen, or is it just kind of, is it set?
Yeah, for the most part, it's set. There's a few of the parameters that still respond. Gate, for instance, because the gate comes after the whole reverb part. So there's a few things you can do. I think the tone as well, we played around with either having that or not having that being affected. So I can't remember where it landed in the end. But the most of it is just frozen. And then, yeah, there's a few things you can do.
What is sides again and the difference?
Yeah, so sides, basically, it filters out all the stereo information in the low end. So it keeps the stereo wide in the higher frequencies, but you can filter out the bass part and just have that in mono. Cleaning up vocals or anything like that.
Anything interesting in the presets?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some people you know, maybe even people who joined this have been part of creating them. Barry, if you click on the actual preset name, there'll be a drop down. And so we have a bunch of contributors. We always do that, by the way, if any of you guys would be interested in the future. We send out the beta to just people in our network, and you know, they're always very helpful when it comes to giving us feedback, and some of them send us presets, and we always include those in the final version. So,
and it's got a ducker, which is kind of a new popular reverb thing on Reverb.
Yeah, correct.
Ducker. Yeah. Everyone up to speed on what a ducker does on a reverb. Basically dries it up whenever it has signal, which seems non-intuitive, but as soon as the input stops, the reverb does too. Or it comes back up to level, let's put it that way. It comes back up to whatever you had. So the ducker, that's a cool feature, I think.
Yeah, it basically like ducks down the dry signal. The reverb tail when the dry signal is playing. And there's two modes. If you click the button to the left, there's a gentle and more like pumpy mode to it. So the gentle mode is just, it's a very subtle dip you get in the reverb whenever the dry signals comes on. And if you uncheck it, it's more like aggressive. So you have two modes.
I'm not sure you'll hear it on this. Let's see here.
I think this is a gated preset, so you need to adjust the
Oh,
gate.
okay. Sorry. Let me,
No, it's okay. Yeah, if you take, I don't know, if you go to any of the other ones, yeah, take the Vox Verb or anything like that.
like this one. Oh, Vox Verb. Okay.
Yeah, that should be more. And then you can click anywhere to get rid of the preset.
I'm sending to it, so yeah. Well, hard to hear on Zoom, I'm sure.
Trust me, guys, the elegance of this reverb cannot be heard over Zoom. There's some incredibly detailed things that you can hear, but you have to listen to it in your environment because it's not. I'm sitting here listening; it's not coming through. And
yeah, I didn't have big hopes for it working like this, but
I mean, it's a really elegant interface. It's very clean. It's very efficient. But once you wrap your head around it, it takes like a couple minutes to like start poking around. You'll find that there's some really wonderful sounds that you can create with the various things. It's really outstanding, Caspar.
Thank you. It means a lot coming from you. So we're very honored. Thanks.
Thanks, Caspar.
Try it.
No.
Thanks, Caspar, for making it. I know it had to. Where are you right now? Sweden or something?
In Denmark.
In Denmark. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again. And any more questions, anybody? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I
You
got
don't
one.
really hear it, guys. You need to hear it in your environment.
Hey, Caspar, how long was the development cycle in terms of coding and getting this to market? How long did you work on this project?
I would say all inclusive because we started with our spaced out plugin, which, that was some of the footwork for what became Crystalline later. Then it would have been 2 years probably, but actually on Crystalline, it's more like a little bit less than a year, I'd say. So this came out April 5th, and we maybe started in May, June last year to really kind of hone in on this project, something like that.
How big is the dev team? How many developers are working on the code base?
We're 8 people and 6 develop.
That's
well,
it?
including designers. So we also have a couple that make design, but yeah.
Awesome. I wish you success.
Yeah, thank you. And guys, thank you for letting me present it. It means a lot. You all have some amazing credits. So it's an honor. Thank you.
You got it, Caspar. Thank you.
Welcome everyone to Tech Breakfast.
Yeah, you're late, dude.
Dude, sorry. I'm literally, while I'm sitting here doing something, I've got Germany asking me questions and they're sending me files that I still have to approve. So I'm doing this at the same time.
If it's work related, you're excused.
Yeah, okay, sorry. So welcome everyone, Mr. David Cole, everyone. Yeah. Love the fact that you're here. This is awesome. Sylvia Massey, love the fact that you're here. Thank you so much.
Got Maureen Droney there.
Maureen Droney, yes. Lady of the house.
I heard there was breakfast.
It's a bit of a misnomer these days.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
You all.
So glad you all could make it. I apologize for being a hair late because I flew in from Germany Monday night and I've been working on Manhattan Transfer's 50th anniversary album. And the WDR is in Cologne. So David Thomas and I had to fly into Charles de Gaulle and then to Dusseldorf, and then they had to drive to Cologne. So I'm still putting that album to bed, which is why every once in a while you'll see me duck out and text them back because they're sending me files back and forth. So, Mr. Barry has been on top of everything since I have been in my hell. So
Not that bad. Germany's nice. I like
Germany's
it.
nice. I fell in love with that dome. That place was just elegant beyond words.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So I've had about 10 people this week, in the last couple of days, ask me to bring up at Tech Breakfast the new Pro Tools stuff. So do you want to talk about that?
Well, we have Jakub and Boris from United Plugins that show off.
Okay, we're gonna do that first. Okay,
let's do that. Then we can open it up.
Sure.
So here is Jakub. Pronounce your last name. You guys are in.
Hello, everybody. It's Dudacek.
Dudacek, and you guys are in Czech.
Prague.
Prague. Okay, coming from Prague. So I have your plugin all ready to go here. We can screen share or whenever you want.
Okay, let me just tell you why we're talking about this plugin today. The thing is, our company is very young, as Caspar's is. We're celebrating the 3rd anniversary, and we decided that for the 3rd anniversary, we would give out our plugin from the first year of production, which is Autoformer. And basically, just if you want it as well, you don't have to write us. You just can go to the web page and buy the plugin for $0, and that's it. And it's in your account, and you can use it on as many computers as you own. And this action ends on Sunday.
Oh, wow. You do have to fill out, they want information, your name and that, right? And email.
Yeah, you have to have your account made.
Right. So you have an account. This is standard kind of procedure nowadays. And so
nothing serious.
And then it'll, add to cart or whatever, and it shows up at $0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm sharing the screen now, if you don't mind. I'm show this thing off.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it, Jakub and Boris?
Basically, Boris is the one who invented this thing because of his studio needs. So he's the right person to talk about it.
So I wanted to make some really handy plugin for making writing vocals, especially, and writing another instruments like a bass. So there are 4 parts. The first is preamp. You can choose from 3 different colors of preamp. You have a British color of a preamp, US color, and the German. I can say it, British is a Neve color, US is API color, and the German is all Telefunken, all what I have in the studio. There is a module, which means how much of color you will use. Of course, you will use a gain preamp to make more color or not. You can switch it on or off. There is the basic part, which is balancer. Balancer is something like a rider, which you will use how much is used, how many percentage of balancer is used, and if it use gate or not. Why gate? Because sometimes there is some background noise, and it can be given real loud, and we don't want it. The sear is a special look ahead, and the same level function as, for example, in the lever. It means how much you want to look ahead. It means in a time domain. There is something like a really fast and easy, simple compressor. There is a gain, there is squash. Squash is a kind of special process which is together threshold with different shaping of curve. I made it for fast walk, especially for vocals, and sometimes it works pretty well on bass. You have a time there. It means if it's fast or slow release and attack ratio. the same as a usual compressor, and basically mix. I'm a big fan of parallel compression, so usually I'm compressing really a lot of, and then I use parallel compression and just put in different ratio of mix. And there is a last thing, which is output. That's all. You have meters there for gauge, for compression, for in, out levels, and that's it.
Cool. So I have it. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I have it here, screen sharing, and I have it on a bass guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing you didn't mention was that all these can be used separately. So you don't have you don't have to go through the preamp to get to the balancer and so forth. So you just pop them in as you need them or whatever you want to do. So what I did here is I have this bass part. It's actually that same song, and he's playing up the octave. So can you hear that all right?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm doing is with the leveler, I gotta hear it a second. Oh, so we need that. Oh, we changed. So the balancer is like a leveling amp. Seer is look ahead. So you could go all the way to a zero attack almost up here. And if you look down in your Pro Tools delay compensation, which you're not seeing right now, you can see it changing as you turn this knob, which is kind of cool. So this is that's the balancer section. So I can switch that out, let's say, and you could use the compressor. I did have a question about your compressor. You just have time, fast, slow. Is that both the release and the attack?
It's actually cross grade. The fastest time is really fast attack and really long release. If you will go back, it will reverse.
So over there is fast attack and fast release, right?
No, fast attack, slow release. If you will go to slow, we'll go something like this. It means it's a slower attack, but release is going not so much faster as a.
Okay, let's hear this. Attack. Let's hear this thing on the same track. Okay.
Yeah, you can hear it.
Yeah. So, all right, you had to fool with that a little bit. Oh, yeah. Mix might help to go mix. So that's the compressor section, and then the preamp. I don't know you're going to hear this very well over Zoom, but I'll try. Mojo is like how much you're driving that preamp.
Level of saturation.
Yeah, so that's. Definitely when he plays the low D. Let's hear that same section without it. All right, it's kind of recorded that way. So US is a little harder sounding. The British is, a little softer. And the German, I'm not sure what that
is. There a setting for threshold or input to the compressor?
I think that happens with squash.
Yeah. In Squash is there.
Yeah. So let's go there again if you want. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the balancer and the compressor have their own gain reduction meter and then the output.
Yeah.
So pretty straight ahead, and it's
Good.
free.
Free.
Thanks, guys. Any more? Any questions? Anybody else? Yeah, straight ahead. Well, thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah,
and
thank you for
taking
the
time. What
invitation.
time?
Thanks for having us.
What time is it in Prague?
It's
I think it's just 5 minutes to quarter to 8.
28.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks so much, guys. Good luck with the product and everything.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Tony. Pro Tools.
Pro Tools, you want to talk about,
I got it. I installed it. It's all good.
there's 3 new
Yeah. Flex.
incarnations. Talk about it a little bit.
Sure. Well, probably should have John Connolly here to get deep into it, but there's a comparison chart you can find that has what's going on with the 3 of them. Flex or Ultimate. I don't really know too much beyond because I only have Ultimate, the top thing. That's enough for me to keep track of that. But I think the big news is that the middle version they call Studio is greatly increased, especially if you're mixing in Atmos. So I think if you can find that comparison chart at Avid, it's in the manual, I think.
I took a glance and it seems that the big differences between Ultimate or Flex and Studio is, as you said, a lot more improvements in Studio, a lot more features like Surround and Atmos.
Yeah, they added that. They added that to, what is that, $299 a year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ultimate has gone up to renew your perpetual thing at $750 a year when it used to be $399. And the big difference there is it supports HD native and HDX and more traction buses, but beyond the scope of what most music mixes require. Like it's becoming more of a post thing.
I don't know how many people here right now have downloaded the new version yet. What's the story there? Anybody? Nigel? I can't see you, blurred out. Oh, that's your screensaver.
We all wait for you to do it, Barry, and then.
No, I did it.
I haven't done it.
Yeah,
I forged ahead with the studio version, and it's great. Even the new synth and percussion plugins are working, so no complaints here.
Oh, that's another thing. They have a whole bunch of new stuff that they give you in all of the versions, I think. But I'm happy that it just works. I'm pretty good with it, that it works.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What OS are you using it with, Barry?
I'm using it on you're not going to believe this, a 2010 Mac Pro, dual 4-core, 8-core, 64 gigs of RAM. I have a Radeon video card, so I'm able to run Mojave 10 point, whatever that is, 14.6. And it's working fine.
I'm running the studio version on MacBook Pro Max, the new one with Monterey.
All right.
No problems.
So some news is Avid announced that they will no longer support Mojave when Monterey is fully implemented, fully supported. I'm sorry, when Monterey. What's the next one? There's another. What's the OS after Monterey? There's another one. Anyway, when they fully support Monterey, they will no longer support Mojave, which just means I I mean, does anyone get support from Avid? I mean, do they like check in on you or anything? No. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, I'm running on a really old computer. I'm just kind of hanging on by my fingernails, waiting for a real computer to come out, a tower. I've heard rumors about one last Intel machine. There's still a rumor going around about that. One more Intel box. I would love them to make a tower that was the M1 stuff, but you could run the Intel card in it. I don't know why well, anyway, it's Apple. So
what OS are most of you on?
Mojave.
I'm on the same as Barry.
Catalina.
That's 1015. Catalina's 1015. Who?
Catalina.
Yeah. 1015.
What followed Mojave?
Mojave's 1014.
What
I
followed?
moved to Windows 10 about 6 years ago and haven't looked back or missed a beat.
And you keep reminding us that.
I think the new one's Big Sur. Is that what it
Big
is?
Sur, that's what I'm on. Big Sur.
Yeah, I'm on Big Sur. I'm not going to move to Mojave till I'm forced to.
Monterey is after Big Sur.
But I think the next
10,
tower,
15 years.
Hi, back.
Hey,
the
guys.
next Apple Tower won't be till next year, which will have PCIe card slots and
Yeah, that's what I
M2
want.
architecture.
That's what I want.
I'm running Monterey on the
Yeah, that's
MacBook
why
Pro
I
14
moved to
inch.
Windows, was for the PCI slots mainly.
That's why I have a Mac Tower.
I really doubt that rumor that they're going to do another Intel.
Yeah, I
was
heard
a
that
mistake.
about 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, that
And I
seems
thought,
very unlikely.
Yet doesn't seem. I don't know why they would do that. They'd have to have a very, very specific reason.
Maybe you can find a blowout deal on the Intel Tower from 2019.
Probably can. That's what I was also thinking about waiting for. Get a 2019 Mac Pro Tower.
Yeah, those are good machines.
They are a good machine and get it really cheap. I mean, they're about 10 grand right now.
Yeah, then go to OWC to get your RAM and your extension dock.
Barry, I just wanted to chime in that I was at the Avid ACA 3 weeks ago when they kind of ran down the new Avid tiers. Basically, the studio version. So Avid's trying to grab the sort of consumer prosumer market. They've been getting a lot of feedback, particularly from those of us in education, that their support for just the everyday person is too limited, that Pro Tools standard couldn't match all the features of the other DAWs. So that's kind of what they're at. The artist version is their attempt at trying to get people in at a low price point, but the consensus at that meeting was that it should have been free. Even if they cut the track count down to 16 or something, just to get people's appetite whet. And then we really won't see fully Flex for another year, because they're supposed to be like adding features to Flex. So basically Flex will become sort of the beta, you know, anytime they have something new they want to show off, the Flex users will get access to it first. But they are bridging the gap between Studio and Flex in the sense that the only really compelling reason to go into Flex is if you're doing post and running a whole bunch of HDX cards and things like that. But otherwise, if you're really in the box, you know, that gap's being closed. So just thought I'd throw that in from what I learned at the.
So Ultimate is a subset or is part of Flex. Is that right?
Correct. So at some point we will boot our computers and it won't say Ultimate any longer. It'll say Flex.
Whatever.
But yeah, so Ultimate.
I'm happy it boots up.
Right.
I mean, gosh, I run 5 interface boxes and an H9000.
Just the company it's just not the same company it was 10 years ago. And
no.
I don't know. No offense, but I don't know what
you can say that about a lot of companies, Tony.
It is just a bunch of people just throwing shit against the wall and trying to see, oh, let's do this. I just don't understand that.
Right. So the virtual instruments are an attempt of grabbing the younger audience because they're cool instruments and all of that. And they are in-house developments, so they won't go away like Falcon did. So they realized that. But the other big request that everyone's been asking for is for a unified installer for Pro Tools instead of having to, I'm sure all of you had to go through the process of updating your plugins. And that was a joyous experience. And so,
oh yeah.
But to go with what Tony's saying, the general, I mean, I threw out my suggestions and everything because I work with the younger market, the students and all of that. And a lot of that was just kind of disregarded because everything, you know, the big thing coming to Flex is going to be something like, there's going to be a deeper integration with Media Composer, which, you know, will affect a very specific population, but not everyone.
Yeah, there's a new version of Media Composer just came out yesterday, I think. Yeah, I'm sure you know Andrew down there. Andrew is a teacher. What's the school? Cerritos College?
Cerritos College, yeah. And we are a 2-year college that basically tries to do everything to get students out in the field, either working in live sound or recording studios.
That's awesome. That's laudable. That's
yeah. So
great. Yeah.
we do Pro Tools 200P, 200M, 101, and I'm even certified to do ACSR for Pro Tools for students. So students pay $100 for a class, and they could be Pro Tools certified for a couple $100 actually.
That's great. It's
my understanding that in the new versions is that you can set your own key commands.
Yes.
That is a huge mistake.
You can do your own set of quick keys.
That is a
you don't have to do it. The
yeah,
other
but my
one
point to you is, for someone who just literally, when I got into Germany, it's like at least I'm on Pro Tools and all the commands are set to the English keyboard the same way. You know, if someone had, oh yeah, this is set to this and this is set to this and this is set to this, it would have slowed me down immensely. So
well, can't you just reset that on preference?
You can turn that off, Tony. You can go back to default.
The problem with that is that when you have multiple people who are driving at the same time and everybody sits down, let me do my part, let me do my part, let me do my part. When there's speed in being able to have everybody on the same key commands, and when one guy goes, oh yeah, that's blow up the Pro Tools key command. Oh, gotta fix that. I mean, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's me. I sound like a grumpy old man, I know, but
no, it's a good point. I mean, you get muscle memory after a period of time, and you
Really
can't
do.
necessarily shift gears that quickly.
And
So
we
that
had a
actually
situation where there were 7 engineers in the control room, and it's like, dude, let me fix my part. We had one master computer, and let me fix my part, let me fix your part, let me, and everybody would sit down. And if we had everybody with different key commands, that would be a little nutso at that point.
We're juggling enough numbers as it is, and without having a new set of stuff to memorize or try to keep track.
And like I said, maybe it's me, maybe it's, there's something about having the ability to sit down and work no matter where you are in the world. You slip it to an English keyboard and you're off to the races.
So that actually came up yesterday with the Avid, the certified instructors mail list. They were contemplating putting the keyboard shortcut command feature into the Pro Tools 110 book, and so far most of the population has voted against that, simply because there is no easy way to switch between profiles. You can't reset it in preferences. You actually have to go into your documents folder and dive down a few layers to delete the file and replace it with the new one. So until, if they had, one suggestion was to actually have some sort of feature where you could quickly load your preferences. So if you do have 7 people, everyone just goes edit preferences and loads their keyboard commands. But
let me interject something with that. Logic's had this ability since day one. You can go in and change your keyboard setup in a snap. Why Avid doesn't have this now is beyond belief. But the other thing I wanted to bring up real quickly, especially for people under the age of 30, they get their iPhone or their smartphone and there's an app for creating music. What's Avid doing in regards to that? Probably nothing. So they'll never capture the younger market. Just my opinion. What do I know? I'm a Logic user.
Yeah, at their prices, I don't think they're looking for the students.
I'd be happy if they pick up their tech support line.
Now you're just being ridiculous.
Now you're being ridiculous.
From a guy that does support for a living, that's the irony.
That's just, I know that, I was a Logic user before I was a Pro Tools user, and it's cool to have the key commands, but there's something about uniformity that allows you to work quickly within an environment. And
It also works with the keyboard.
Hey.
Hey.
Like,
Mechanical.
What are you doing? Look who's there.
Tony, when I was at Paramount for almost 8 years, that's all they used was Pro Tools. They had, whole studio bays set up.
Sure. But it's, I think they're trying so desperately to pull in a younger person, and without any regard to what that means in terms of the actual workflow of a situation. But, you live and you learn with people.
I gave the 2022 or their subscription based. I picked it up last year, and happy with Logic and Reason. And mainly because I can get support when I go down a rabbit hole that I can't figure out, and you can't reach them. So
can you see this screen here? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah, we got it.
So those are your 3 levels: Artist, Studio, and Flex, which is the superset of Ultimate. I'll scroll down. You can see what they're capable.
Yeah, I think everybody got that email, but
well, this is from the website. But you see, this is the big change in the studio version. They call, Mac puts out a computer. What's it called? Studio. And then this is called Pro Tools Studio, the Mac Studio. Anyway.
The other big difference is with HDX hardware, you get close to 0 latency, and on the others that's not the case.
it's interesting. I don't know.
Tell us about Germany. What was the studio you were at? What was that like?
I worked at the WDR,
which is the initials, or
stands for, basically it's the West German radio.
Okay.
And they have a Lavo console.
Yep.
Which is interesting. And it's interesting on a lot of levels because everything they have in the facility is digital.
Yep.
So when I asked for a pair of Pultecs,
they don't know what you're talking about.
They looked at me like I was on crack. And I was just like, I said, what analog do you have that we can integrate into the system? And they go, analog. So that was the first full day in Germany. Was
don't
just
need
trying to
no
set up
stinking analog.
There's a Lawo.
There you go.
This is analog Lawo.
Yeah.
Nice EQ. Very nice EQ.
And there's nothing wrong with it, Sylvia. It's just a preference that I have for integrating analog into my mixes. And after they found me a pair of Pultecs in Riverside, in Cologne at Riverside Studios. And as soon as we put them in, and I, turned them up, the guy was just like, "Wow, that's really nice." And I'm like, "Analog works, dude. There's a reason why it works." So we printed a bunch of things, and they kept saying, "Yeah, we can understand why you've done this," but it's I don't know. It's just one of those things, guys. It's it was really wonderful working in another country, and it was really wonderful working in a setting I had not been in before. In the WDR, in the West German Orchestra, and the West German radio, They have 6 places that they have various recordings. They have a big band theater. They have this place where they can put 60-piece orchestras. They have a variety of different things going on at the same time. And the government pays for the musicians for the WDR. They get a stipend every month just to play for the WDR. And so there's 70 musicians that are on the payroll, big band and orchestra, and it is amazing because they crank out wonderful music and they have these concerts and all these things. And I'm thinking, with all the money we have in the States, we couldn't do this. We couldn't come up with some way to feed the arts. It's just it was mind-boggling me. But maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Anybody else experience this? Have they gone to other countries where they? And it seems like, I guess, the socialist countries, but they pay for the arts to and people. I mean, these places are well attended. There are like 1,000 people at the last concert that they had. It's just free concerts all the time. It's wonderful.
I've provided.
Society respects culture and music, and they pay for it. It's a career.
I love that.
I've written justifications of things for grant applications for Ireland, in the UK, in Germany as well, where there's cultural organizations that they can petition, and as long as they have basically a reasonable business plan of, hey, I want to do this recording, they put all the people in, they get the dollar amounts, and they get a grant for it. It's impressive. Never from America, though.
Canada too. Actually, Canada has great programs.
It's all over Europe. It's a normal thing, and music is a career, a respected career.
Yeah.
Maureen,
you got to be really hungry in
high school.
Miss Droney, why couldn't we have? I'm putting you on the hot seat here.
No, I'm here.
It would be wonderful to be able to have something like that with, I mean, we spend billions and billions of dollars for stupid stuff around this country.
You're right. Well, there's the National Endowment for the Arts, and we lobby to get them funded every year and to get them increases. But I don't know about other things like that. We should, I try and do more.
Yeah, the American system, though, the hungriest of us can succeed. I see a lot of complacency in, like, for instance, the musicians in Canada really don't have the hunger. The ones that I'm working with, they when they have that money, when they have that regular paycheck, they're not as hungry. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's different here. That's for sure.
Today is actually Grammys on the Hill. So that's when our lobbying day, when there's a whole bunch of people talking to in DC, talking to their Congress people. Last night was the dinner and awards. It was Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I don't know who the congressional people were this year. I didn't go. But I mean, with the hot topics are songwriter pay, what's going on with that. Article 17 in England looks like it's sticking. That's the one that, hang on, I'm drawing a blank. I wasn't expecting to have to say anything. Makes the streaming services liable for usage of unauthorized usage, rather than having to take down notices. So that looks like it's passing in Europe. And what else on our side? The HITS Act, which is the one where you can write off your production costs for recording in the year, write off the whole thing in the year that you do the recording, rather than having to amortize it over time. So those are the actual bills that are in Congress, and also the big one, which is AMFA, the American Music Fairness Act, which is the one to get which is to get terrestrial royalties in the United States. So those are the bills that are in front of Congress right now. So we are always looking at the arts, but I'll talk to advocacy about what else they do besides the National Endowment for the Arts that they actually help get money for.
Yeah, I realize it's a almost seemingly insurmountable task, but it would be so wonderful to be able to have some version of that.
It's so important. I mean, the only two universal languages are music and food. what else do we have that brings us all together? You know,
Absolutely.
it's just in the times we're living in, it's more important than ever. But the money's going to other, you know, so many other things. So you're right. You're absolutely right. We should do more. I have to jump, and it's not because I'm running away. It was really cool listening to you all. I put that in the chat. But thanks, Tony and Barry. Bye.
Maureen, before you jump,
Yeah.
I sent you a private chat with a little problem I'm having. I don't want to bore the group with the details.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Wait a
Thanks
minute,
for coming, Maureen.
it's in this chat here?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's direct message to you. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye. I'm gonna grab that first though. Where is it? Okay, I'm gone.
Good to see you, Maureen.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
I'm Maureen. So anybody else got anything interesting that's been happening? David, were you still down in San Diego?
I'm up in Ventura. I moved here about 3 or 4 years ago. Last time I was at a tech breakfast, it was at the restaurant. So
yeah. We need to talk about that restaurant, don't we, Tony?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, yeah. He's got a call. I was going to say we need to talk about having a live tech breakfast in person with pancakes
and syrup.
End of May or sometime. Well, we're almost out of April, but maybe. Can I reach the cats at UA?
Is this typically the last Thursday of every month? Is that when?
It is. It is. Not typically, it is.
Okay.
So do you guys want to get together in person again?
Well, that's what I was just bringing up. I was going to wait for you to get off the phone, Big Shot.
Yeah. My German is horrible, so it takes me a little longer. But so yeah, I mean, you guys want to start? We could do it. You want to do it every other month? I mean, what are we thinking about? Anyone?
One I thought might be to alternate it. Because I know there's over the course of the pandemic, we've picked up people from that are not necessarily in LA. It might be cool to do I'm headed to Virginia for the summer in a month, so it might be cool to do like a in person and then a Zoom and an in person or something like that.
That's a good idea.
Over at the audio lunch bunch, they have a little Zoom station set up. It's a little pain in the ass, I think, to go through all that work, but it seems to work rather well. So some people can just show up and others can drop in online.
Yeah, let me talk to the Coral Cafe and see if we can set up something there where we can Zoom everybody in.
That would be nice.
Yeah, see if we can do that and kill two birds with one stone. But
give it a try. You have to find out if they have good Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
I'm in a couple of groups that do that with some people on site and some people on Zoom. The good thing is you can get people from all over the world. The bad thing is we know production value and all that stuff and how good it sounds and what it looks like. And it's always really awful, right? The mic is off on some laptop someplace and you can't understand half of what they say. So I guess.
Well, at the audio lunch, they have a laptop and you stand in front of the laptop if you want to talk to.
Yeah, when this group does it, it's going to be 10 times better than it's ever been. So I can already predict that.
Well, let's figure it out. You guys think about it, because if so, we can maybe keep the Thursdays at the end of the month for Zoom and then do something mid,
That's what I think that's what I would go for. I hate to upset, the regularity and expectation of the Thursday Zoom.
Well, then you got to do 2 of them each month. Will that work for you?
No.
No, just have
regular Zoom. The breakfast is whenever. That can be a Monday. I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You see, that's what can be variable. The idea.
It used to be unpredictable schedule anyway. So
yeah, that's right. So
fine.
Well, Monday specifically is really bad work-wise.
Okay.
But
here we go. Usually they're right after a
Somebody's
trade
working?
show. Usually.
I'm open to anything you guys want to do. We can maybe do an in-person thing, maybe right after NAM or something like that in a couple of weeks. We'll try that, get everybody back together.
We got to talk about that too. Tony, you gonna go?
I think I'm gonna go. Yeah. I wasn't gonna go, and then I thought, because this is like my one free time, but I haven't gone the last 2 years, so what the hell? Might as well show up.
I'll see you down there, man.
You may not get COVID, but you'll get it NAMthrax.
You know, Tony, I'll pay for your gas if you drive.
Hey, me too.
I mean, honestly, I just don't want to drive down to frickin' tourist town, Anaheim. That's what a lot of people are forgetting. You know, they go to the NAMM show during the winter, and the people from Europe and the East Coast, wow, this is great.
Oh,
Sunny.
dear God.
Sunny.
Disneyland in summertime.
The trick is,
Oh, how about that? I forgot.
hold a second. Take the Metro Link. It costs you $8.50. You can ride the bus for free with your ticket right to the front door of the place. I've done it every year for years.
Okay, good tip. Good tip, Jimmy.
Cheap.
In fact, I can get on the subway. It's about a mile from my house. I walk there. I can get on there and on the train there, and bring something to read. But whatever.
The Orange County bus line accepts the MetroLink ticket as like a transfer.
Well, don't you have to change trains about 12 times to get to Anaheim?
Union Station, take you right down there for
no,
$4.50, I think. If you're a senior.
Well, from the valley, that's a couple of changes.
No. You just get to the subway station in North Hollywood, like I said, and you just get on there and you go down to it takes you downtown, and then you change. That's the only change.
And then where's the drop off? It drops off where? At Anaheim Stadium, right?
Right there at the Angels Stadium, and you catch the number 50 bus and take it right to the front door of the convention center.
How long's the ride?
Or you could just drive.
28 minutes.
Bypass all that stuff.
How
Is that where we started?
It's fast.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't, driving down is not so bad, but I don't want to drive back. Tony's got a nice car too.
Those walks in the parking lot used to be
Gary's personal chauffeur.
I've gotten to the point now, I hate driving back so much. I go down, I just get a hotel room down there for the duration. And
Well, sure. But I'm going to go one long day. And, Saturdays are always hellish. It's only 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh,
There's actually an event I heard about. I'll think about it in a minute, but there's a bunch of events Thursday night. So I am leaning maybe getting a room, but good luck. It's summertime in Anaheim. You won't be able to find a restaurant. You'd be lucky to get a bathroom to pee in.
Especially this year after Disneyland being closed for 2 years.
Try the train. I'll make you a believer.
All right.
Thankfully, my hotel reservation for this June is the same one I had from January of 2021. I just keep pushing it down as they move the thing up.
Good for you.
I heard somewhere there were a number of exhibitors complaining about the cost of exhibiting and that they weren't going to bother to go.
It's crazy money.
Every year.
Yeah, but Jonathan was pointing out that even if you don't go and you just want to visit, getting a quote unquote a pass to get in, they wanted to charge like something exorbitant, like $500.
Yeah, even for NAM members.
Yeah, but if you know an educator, it's not that much.
Yeah,
that's true, but
maybe it's gone up, but
why would you charge your exhibitors crazy money when your exhibitors are keeping you in business? That was his point.
It's a valid point. I mean, by the same token, I guarantee Jonathan knows somebody that can get him a badge. I mean,
yeah.
The chance to see 200 ukulele manufacturers, though. Come on.
I mean, he could do a booth appearance with any one of a number of people for 30 minutes and done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Years ago, we used to go on shared badges. Too bad you can't do that anymore.
It was always funny seeing what name people were actually wearing.
Yeah, weird names, crazy names.
Yeah,
All
men
right.
wearing women's names and vice versa. I
Anybody else
remember
have
doing that.
anything?
I remember driving miles to get a free badge from somebody just to get in the next day. So I had to drive to Whittier to get one to go to Orange County.
Did anybody go to
don't
NAB?
NAB. I only know one person, a press guy went, PR guy.
It was great. It was about 80% of what it usually is. It was buzzing. It was way
heard
more
that.
than I had expected.
I heard
And
that.
fun to go, you know, for a change.
If
Was
if
it-
NAM wound up being about 80% of what it normally is, I would be totally cool with that.
It was 3 halls. They had it spread out in 3 halls, right? 3.
Yes.
And you walk between them.
Well, they actually had a really cool ride on an underground tunnel between the halls in Teslas. They had drilled those underground tunnels.
Tesla did, huh?
Yeah, and it's really
maybe the
cool.
Tesla. Maybe that's a new option on a Tesla.
Boring.
Tunnel mode.
Or yeah, the boring company.
Aren't the walls like hideously close to the side of the vehicles in those tunnels?
They are, and they're lit up in color, and it's like an event going through them. It's very cool. I wish I had a video. There, my buddy that I went with videotaped it in his phone, you know, and it was an experience. We missed the stop and got the entire all the way around, all through all tunnels. We got the extended ride. It was great. No, but going back to the show, which I've gone to for 40 years and then haven't been for the past 3. I'm glad we went over there. I don't like Vegas, but I'm glad we went to the NAB again.
I heard it was good.
It was good. It was good.
But
Probably more fun than the Grammys.
Well, I really wanted to go to the CES, but they canceled it.
Yeah.
Barry and Tony, thanks for keeping the lights on, keeping the tech breakfast thing going. I'll be back sometime. I got to duck out. Good to see everybody.
See you, David.
Mr.
Take
Cole.
it easy. Take it easy, Mr. Cole. Missed
All right,
you at
y'all.
lunch yesterday. See ya.
Did anybody else have anything new?
Well, yeah, actually.
Paul?
Hey, Tony. So, 2 months ago on here, I showed you the shell. And so here, I just get my face out of this. Where's the... No, I'm an old man. Okay. So here, I kept the skylights and put it together. I brought some of the
Vibey, Paul.
brought the vibe with us from the old place. That's the same door. And there's the A100, Leslie's in there, Whirly Rhodes, the grand console. Yeah, I sold the Uris, but I kept these JBLs.
Wow. Relics. Cool. Relics from a past era.
Yeah. L112s.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a pair of 813s, but they were going to be a bit too much for the room here.
Where are you?
I'm currently, okay.
I mean, to
Los
say
Angeles
Australia or
and
England or US or what?
No, Los Angeles, Sherman Oaks.
Oh, all right.
And so we had a facility over in North Hollywood that had been there since '74 in one incarnation or another. Started out as a rehearsal space connected to the alley run by Bill and Shiloh. They opened that place in '73. So now I'm working from home. People come through the gate, walk under the hedge, walk by the chickens.
Man, I want your gardener. Tell me your gardener.
That's me.
That looks
Can't
great.
afford me.
Oh man.
So yeah, we come in, go past the snare wall. Yeah, and come in, and people have been coming in as soon as I let them. They were calling me basically while I was, people were calling me the sessions while I was still trying to move out of the old place. And yeah, so it took 2.5 months from just starting demo to putting this place together. It's still just storage and craziness in here, but I managed to bring some of the panels that Sarah painted down there with us, and we'll just continue the mural here. So yeah, and 3 kits and 5 bass drums and more redwood because I haven't finished putting the door frames on.
Congratulations, Paul. Looks amazing.
Thanks, Stefan. Really.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
Like that Abbey Road rug. That's nice.
Yeah, yeah. That's the best.
Any more of those around? Wow, that's cool. Is that a bath
Well,
mat
just go to
or
Abbey
what?
Road.
Is that a bath mat?
No, it's a. I mean, they have a store at Abbey Road.
Oh shit! Okay.
And so, yeah.
Nice.
If they have a place online, I'll figure it out. Send you a link. But yeah, no, I love it. But I had it in the booth down there, and so I brought it here. And this is the stool, of course, I had down there. These are the sliding glass doors from the Studio B booth. The panels were in Studio B. The boutiques were in Studio A. And some clients have been bringing, well, one particular client is just like, hey, these oil paintings, this place makes me feel this way. So have this.
Fantastic.
No, it's been amazing. It really is.
Okay, thanks for sharing.
Thanks, Paul. That's very cool.
Thanks everybody for coming to today's TB.
Thanks, everybody. We're going to figure it out. Barry and I.
Thanks for keeping it coming.
Yeah, Barry and I will figure it out, and we'll keep doing the Zoom call last Thursday of every month. And
what do you guys like to see on here? I mean, do you like the plug-in, the gear stuff, or
plugins are good?
You know what? Thanks for keeping it about the industry somehow. Not to be disrespectful, but there's one other engineer group, and they just hang out and talk about stuff that has nothing to do with the business, and I like this better.
What are you talking about? The cats or something? The dogs and cats or children?
Oh shit! Last time one guy was talking about, well, he had COVID, but then he fell down in the NAMM show and his toe got something, and oh my god, I just so cried.
Oh well, we have other ways of.
It went on for a long time.
We have other ways of boring people.
Yeah, I mean So I'm just wondering. I mean, or would you be interested in people talking about famous engineer, mixer, producers? Talking about that stuff, how they recorded whatever the fuck, just
57 on a snare.
Whatever.
No. I'm talking about like projects, specific things that we all have heard.
Short form stuff.
It doesn't go on too long.
Not so much specific gear things. I don't care about what you use on your frickin' snare drum. I really don't.
I know, but Mix Magazine has done this for 40 years, but after a point,
I just don't care about that. I mean, come on. No, I like more of the personal part of that stuff. Like how did you ever dream up to that lyric, or why does this thing sound the way it does? It doesn't. How did that happen? Those kind of the more kernel of the creativity part, not so much.
Agreed.
The tools are nice. The tools are important if it's something that's unusual. I'm ready to.
But inspiration.
Well,
3 questions format. Get them
Yeah.
with 3. Boil it to 3 questions just to inherently contain it to one.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. So
Behind the scenes of production, behind the scenes of plug-in making would be interesting to me.
Yeah, but that goes to coding and stuff like most people, engineers aren't really too interested in, C++ and, optimization and all that stuff,
It would lead to my eyes glaze over.
All right.
Migo.
I kind of like the way it is. It's like we're bringing up changes, new technologies, where directions, the way the industry is going. I think it's pretty solid. Bringing in some of this creative stuff would be a big plus. Creative conversations.
See what we can do. Tony and I talk about this kind of thing all the time. And
Very nice. Endlessly have these conversations, guys.
I mean,
we really, we want to make it applicable to everyone, and still at the same time, still kind of keep an eye toward like what's different. So we're popping around doing different things. So,
all right, here's something. Have you ever recorded one of these?
Yes, I have.
Really?
I love it. Look at that.
Who recorded it? I mean, what was the artist?
I'm gonna do
the hell is it?
Cora.
It's a Santour, right?
I just finished a project with 180 songs on it, and we have Cora throughout the whole project.
Wow. I've been playing this for 40 years, by the way, folks.
Is that a vintage
Since
or a
that
native?
Mac behind you was new.
A traditional world folk instrument from West Africa. I mean, you all had guitars and pianos in the backdrop. I had to show this off.
Nice.
And it's got a Fishman pickup on it too. So I run it through some eventide, delays and modulations and stuff. For sure.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Great. It's really cool to have the real thing.
I hate to tune.
Real, analog.
All the way.
Okay, everybody.
Definitely know the sound.
Thanks again, everybody, for showing up. And
all right, Barry. All right, thank you.
We will
Thanks
talk
for having
see
us.
you guys
Let us
later.
know
We'll
what we
figure
can do, guys. We're on it. All right.
We'll
Thank you
figure
so
out the
much,
Carly
bro.
Cafe. We'll
Talk to you
figure
later,
that out.
bud.
I'm ending now.
All right. Boom shakalaka laka, boom shakalaka laka.